What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing another Manchester City transfer update. News always coming in thick and fast. You want to stay in the loop with the latest City news and transfer news, then make sure you help support my channel by subscribing, pressing that red button, pressing the bell, and putting your push notifications on. Don't forget, we're aiming for 7,000 subscribers. At the time of recording, we're just over 500 subscribers away. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Hopefully we can be less than 500 by the time of my next video. That would be absolutely amazing. Don't forget also social media links in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My email in the description below too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, that would be much appreciated. We'll be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates when the transfer window does indeed reopen. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Put a like goal on this. I'm aiming for 100 likes. Let's see if we can hit that like goal. That would be absolutely amazing too. And don't forget, you can also leave your thoughts in the comments below. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to leave the link to the live stream that I did yesterday for the Manchester City versus Burnley game, giving my thoughts before the game, during the game, giving my reactions to everything that happened during the game, and also my thoughts after the game with my match analysis. I'm going to be doing these live streams right through until the end of the season, so I'll see everyone again on Thursday evening for the Chelsea game at home. Really enjoyed interacting with everyone. Always worthwhile checking out on the live streams if you want to speak to me and ask me any of your thoughts or questions. Really enjoy interacting with everyone and my subscribers, so yeah, that is much appreciated. But without further ado, we're going to crack on with this video, and we're first up going to be speaking about Scott Carson. He's in the ins, yeah, okay. So Alan Nixon, sometimes reliable, sometimes not, is reporting that Manchester City want to keep Scott Carson beyond his existing loan deal. Scott Carson, of course, he's on loan at Manchester City from Derby County. I'm not sure if he wants to, he's on about that Man City want to extend his loan past June 30th of this season or not, or whether it means it's going into next season. But it's a little bit complicated because his contract, Scott Carson with Derby, is up on June 30th. I'm not under the impression that that has been extended until the end of the season, so he's going to be a free agent after June 30th, so City could sign him up on a free. That's dependent on if the transfer market is open for us to bring him in or not. I do not know. Waiting for a further clarification on this, but I'll be honest, it's straightforward, but it's a little bit complicated at the same time, and I'm finding this goalkeeping situation with Manchester City becoming ever more complicated. Yeah. Claudio Bravo currently injured, so Scott Carson is on the bench for Manchester City. We've obviously had Aro Muric come back, and I'm not too sure who's going to be registered that can play in the Premier League. So hopefully we'll have some clarity on that very soon, and I'll be able to draw a line under the goalkeeping situation for City. But we're going to move on instead, and we're going to be speaking about a player we spoke about in my last video, Filip Krastev of Slavia Sofia. Now, they have announced that they have reached an agreement with Manchester City over the transfer of Filip Krastev, the 18-year-old central midfielder, Bulgarian. He's already passed his medical, and the Manchester Evening News have been reporting that the transfer will be completed next week. I'm not too sure if that's going to come at the end of this week or whether that's going to come some point next week. We're waiting to see, but Filip Krastev, all but a Manchester City player, so welcome Filip. Hope you have a great time over here in Manchester. Now, we've got an update on Nelson Semedo. This is interesting as well. This could be my last update on Nelson Semedo. We know that Manchester City have cooled their interest, and this is because Barcelona do not want to sign Joao Cancelo. Manchester City were only interested in bringing in Nelson Semedo if Joao Cancelo was going the opposite way, but because they don't want Cancelo, City don't want Semedo. That's a situation that we're looking at. City, apparently though, they're looking elsewhere. Cancelo has been made available for transfer should any club want to sign him and he wants to leave. And so City are having a look at elsewhere at other right-backs and other alternatives instead. This is all according to the media outlet called Sports. I'm not too sure how reliable this is, but what they are reporting seems to make sense to me. And so it seems that if City are going to sign a right-back, the future, as I've said in previous videos, the future of Joao Cancelo needs sorting first, and City are going to look elsewhere. Whether they go back in for Nelson Semedo at a future date, I do not know, but I imagine if Barcelona aren't bringing in a right-back, then I imagine they're not going to sell Nelson Semedo. Of course, we know Inter Milan have previously been interested in Joao Cancelo. They're apparently wanting to step up their interest instead in the other City right-back, Kyle Walker, which City do not want to sell, and I highly doubt that Kyle Walker will be leaving this summer, but Joao Cancelo might be an option for Inter Milan. We're waiting and seeing, but Cancelo, of course, got over his injury, did start for Manchester City in the last game against Burnley, and we kept a clean sheet with him in the side and had a good time on the right-hand side for City. So are we going to keep Cancelo or not? It's just like the goalkeeping situation, I'm afraid. I do not have much of an answer for what's happening there. But moving on, we've got an update on Thomas Meunier that City were linked with a few weeks ago. the PSG right back. He was once linked with Manchester City, but he's announced that he's instead going to be joining Borussia Dortmund on a free from Paris Saint-Germain. So we've got clarity on that he won't be joining Manchester City. And so my question to you guys, if Cancelo was to leave, what right back would you like to see Manchester City sign? So we're going to move on to our final story. This is the real meat of the video. Comes in the form of an update on Ruben Dias. Now, O Jogo, I hope that's how you say that media outlet in Portugal. I'm not sure if it's Jogo or something like that, but O Jogo in Portugal, they're reporting that Manchester City are ready to release the clause in Ruben Dias's contract this summer. The figure that we're looking at is €90 million, which is roughly around 82 million pounds. Manchester City previously have shown interest in Ruben Dias. I'm just not too sure that City will be releasing the clause in his contract for that much money. I can see City spending 50 to 60 million pounds this summer potentially on a centre-back. I can potentially see us signing only one centre-back this summer rather than two due to the pandemic and concerns over finances, but that's all because the club's not too sure on how much money they're going to be earning over the next coming few months and into the next year or so. UEFA have eased financial fair play to allow clubs to cope during the pandemic and allow the clubs to invest in their own club, which in my opinion is how it should be. Allow clubs to spend what the money that they want to spend. If they don't want to spend any money because they've not got any, that is fair enough. If the club's got money that they want to spend, allow them to invest it rather than having to do it through legal means. But there we go. That's a story for another video. But City, it could well be a case of it depends on how much money we generate from player transfers. So obviously Leroy Sané leaving, if he was to leave for 60 to 70 million pounds, for example, that would give us a bit of money to spend on a winger and potentially on other positions too. Centre backs leaving as well. Will Stones or Otamendi be at Manchester City? If Stones was to be sold, I've heard Newcastle, if the takeover goes through, are interested. 40 million pounds apparently. I imagine City could maybe get that up towards 50 million pounds. Would allow us a good amount of money to be able to replace John Stones and bring somebody else in. But way I see it, City will be signing a centre-back this summer. If Stones or Otamendi leave, not both of them won't leave, but if one was to leave, I imagine City will be looking at two centre-backs, and if Stones is one of them, we do need to sign a player that is going to be homegrown. My concern, though, is €90 million. City, I just don't see us, during the pandemic, breaking our own transfer record. City are being quite reserved with their money. Rather than looking at 4 or 5 players, I imagine we'll maybe be looking at 3 players instead. We know one of them is going to be a centre-back. We're getting heavily linked with a left-back as well. So imagine that might be a position that City are looking at, and then it might just be a winger or a central midfielder, and if Cancelo is to leave, obviously we'll need a right-back as well. But for what's happening, I'm not too sure if I'm completely honest, but Ruben Dias is a good prospect. He's a player that I would like to see at City. Like I said, if we can pick him up for 50 to 60 million pounds, I'd be delighted. Just in the current economic climate, I just don't see City paying that 81 million pound release clause, that 90 million euro release clause that he has got. It'll be interesting to see though if other clubs will do so. But yeah, we're waiting for further clarification. Pep's had his concerns about how much money City are going to have to spend this summer. It might just be a case of if we sign 2 or 3 players this summer, wait till next summer and sign 2 or 3 more quality players, and it's a transitional phase that happens over 2 seasons rather than one like we was hoping for. But it's not just us that's in this situation. It's going to be all football clubs around the world that's going to be affected by the finances and the pandemic. So and also it affects players being sold because teams aren't going to have as much money, so you're going to have to sell players for less or keep them for another season and wait for things to slowly get that conveyor belt wheel going for players to be signed for money. So we'll wait and see. What I will say though, Ruben Dias, really good player. Would love to see him at Manchester City if we did want to sign a centre-back. So there we go, that's been the video. Like I said, leave in the comments below. If Cancelo was to leave, what right-back would you like to see Manchester City sign? Are you happy with Ruben Dias? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm aiming for 100 likes, so that would be fantastic if we could get there. Don't forget also, subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 7k subscribers. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also, you can check out my social media links in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. You can also find my email in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Go and check out my live stream that I did yesterday for my thoughts of the Burnley game. And I'll see you all again for the next Manchester City video. More than likely we'll have another transfer update coming out at some point in the next couple of days. I'll more than likely put out the live stream as well for the link if you want to go and set your reminder for that Chelsea game on Thursday evening. So I'll see you all again for the next video. I've been JSGC. JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope everyone is safe and well too, and I'll see you all again for the next video. Peace. Ciao for now.